so good against the control decks right now because of Detention Sphere and that being the most significant card in the way they're trying to fight you in a lot of matchups means that it's really getting its chance to shine across all formats.
I don't get to play a lot of Standard, but I think when I do, I'll be casting Abrupt Decay. Just seems too good not to be. It looks like Wagstaff's going to take a mulligan here. Bargo going to draw his opener up, see if he finds anything that he likes. I know he's got lands. He's got a Tarmogoyf over there, a Lightning Bolt, Stifle, some other stuff. Seems like a Rug Delver hand to me.
A fine hand of Magic cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the player that people are probably most scared to play against in this top 8 outfit is Kukanado.
Oh, I wouldn't want to mess with him.
Yeah, his deck is ruthless, and he is obviously quite good at playing it.
I mean, Craig caught him in the Swiss rounds. We had that match on camera, and Craig died effectively on turn 1 the first game.
Yeah, it's true.
And then I believe that Robert reanimated on the 3rd turn through Daze, Force of Will, and Flusterstorm or Spell Piercers.
Some combination of just
some outrageous mixture of counter spells in the early game.
Powered through counter spells. Put a Gristlebrand into play or a Tidespout Tyrant. Actually, it was an Elschnor in that game that he got back to take care of some Delvers and just ended that game. So I'm not quite sure what that says. It's a thumbs up, and it says something.
Sorry, your handwriting is too poor, and now you're
unacceptably bad.
Your message has now been lost in the sands of time. I hope that wasn't anything of any significance to you, Craig.
Craig, when you go back and watch this later, this is a message from me to you. Learn how to write.
Yeah, work on the penmanship. Or bring a Sharpie. It's more visible, at least.
Smart, constructive.
Yeah, you can handle it either way.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of self-improvement when possible, but if not, you can just find the right tools for the job. That's fine too.
It's no game loss for a deck list that can't be read.
Yep.
But it's working its way there. That is a Deathrite Shaman from Evan Wagstaff on his mulligan off a Tropical Island. In we go. We're underway here. Game number 2 between Wagstaff and Bargo.
A lot of reasonable opening plays here for Craig. He has access to Lightning Bolt, Delver of Secrets, and a cantrip. So we'll see what path he wants to go down here.
Bolted. Yeah, get that thing out of here. That card's too good.
It is quite powerful.
You open yourself up to some other things, obviously, but that card is much too good. Here's a Brainstorm. 3 cards coming for Wagstaff.
Hoping to undo his mulligan a little bit with some selection.
Hey, that's what Brainstorm can help you with.
Among other roles.
That's true, too. People call it the best card in Legacy for a reason.
I agree. I believe it is the best card. I don't know what the second best card is, but it's by some margin worse.
Probably some fetch land.
Polluted Delta, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Or Flooded Strand, maybe.
Gonna sacrifice Polluted Delta to go get a Tundra. Pass the turn back. Wagstaff doing that now so he doesn't get stifled, which is a correct read, as Bargo does have one in the grip.
Yeah.
Bargo, 2 copies of Delver Secrets in his hand right now. He'll wait patiently here.
Stifle does a lot of good work here for Craig in the matchup. Of course, fetch land's the most natural thing, but can be used against Stoneforge Mystic or against a Living Weapon trigger or a Planeswalker activation. So plenty of utility for that card here. And Stoneforge Mystic is a cause for concern for this deck. So
there's a Delver. Could play them both right now if he wanted to. It looks like he's going to take a slower approach. Has Stifle and Spell Pierce in the grip.
Yeah, he may be currently exposed to Stoneforge Mystic and would just prefer to hold up Stifle.
Yeah. Wagstaff going to draw a card here, as he has made it a perfect Brainstorm with that Polluted Delta. So the top card of his deck is Mystery. Going to play another Delta to begin the turn. Follow that up with a Source of Plowshares. See, Bargo's going to look at his hand and say, all right, there goes my Delver. I'll gain a life, though. Just an exchange of resources here off the start.
But Evan a little light on things to do, it looks like.
Yeah, that's what it does look like. There's a Wasteland, not a bad draw. Can start going after those lands in that mana base. One thing about Esper Deathblade, does not have the best mana in the world. Going to take down the Tundra.
Yeah, no basics to fetch. And the more that Craig taxes the mana with Wastelands, the more that Evan has to play into Stifle with his fetch lands, which is something Craig definitely wants to have happen here.
Time to Brainstorm. Bargo says, that's fine with me. Wagstaff, draw 3 cards. Time to put 2 away. Again, Tropical Island just helping with the green part of Deathrite Shaman. Doesn't really facilitate very much in Wagstaff's deck beyond that.
Yeah, just one copy. Sometimes these lists have an engineer explosives hanging around somewhere, but for the most part, just to activate Deathrite Shaman.
Time to sacrifice the Marsh Flats. And that means it's time for a Stifle. Bargo very, very quickly.
Have you had the experience where you crack a fetch land and the Rug Delver player sits up in their seat?
I literally couldn't move any faster. Yes, I have. I have been there.
The trap is sprung!
Yeah. Don't you even think about grabbing your deck.
Yeah. Well, first take one, then stop.
Yeah. And you leave that Marsh Flats in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Because that is getting stifled, maybe. What if you just wouldn't stifle here? That would be so good. I'll take a response, go. That's fine.
Because he just wants to get the delta for some reason.
Pretty good stifle there. Checking for blackjack. We hit.
Oh,
Boy.
All right, well, now he definitely has to move and crack this delta. Keep in mind that the stifle is not in his hand just yet. It's still we're still in his upkeep, so Evan can go ahead and sacrifice this delta if he wants to.
If Bargo had a brainstorm here, it would have been a crazy blowout. It doesn't have one, just an attacker for 3. That delta is basically done for. I can't imagine Bargo's ever going to give that the chance to get a land.
Well, Evan didn't even move. I mean,
I'm surprised. I am. I'll tell you what, if Bargo finds a wasteland off of this ponder, this one might be over. Oh boy.
Oh boy. I mean, this is a loaded ponder too. There's an Ancient Grudge and a Brainstorm. Can't ask for much more than that.
Oh boy. I'm going to keep it. I would too. Yeah. There that goes. Having Wagstaff with one hand now.
Well, Evan has a pretty land-heavy hand himself, so maybe he's okay with Craig leaving up a mana for the time being.
Potentially.
I mean, that to me is the only logic that makes sense here for him not sacrificing the blue delta. He doesn't feel like he's going to need to sacrifice for a really long time. He has plenty of lands, and Craig is tight on mana himself. So if Craig's willing to sit there leaving up a mana the whole game instead of, for example, casting the Tarmogoyf that's in his hand, Evan's happier in that world.
Evan with his hand on his head does not seem like a man that's very confident in his position right now.
Oh, I don't know. We've seen this look before.
He's made some pretty insane comebacks when we've watched him play today. This would have to be another one. Seems like a really, really tough spot, though. Wow.
Per Nystrom.
Wow. We watched him play against Greg Smith earlier in a very, very good match. And we could tell when we were watching him play, he's very familiar with Death and Taxes, no doubt about it. And he was able to defeat Combo Elves, the 8 seed, in an upset over the 1 in a really, really tough matchup. Per Nystrom defeats Riley Crew and Death and Taxes. Moving on.
Pretty awesome.
That is insane. Going to play against the winner of Kyle Hutchins and Tom Gensman in the Delver, some sort of Delver matchup, either Rug or Blue, White, Red.
And I'm sure that Per is happy to play against either of those decks. Some Mother of Runes matchups over there.
Oof. Oof. Mufasa. You see here, both players just kind of still jockeying for position a little bit here. It's always so awesome when we just get a really surprising result. Some shrugging of the shoulders here. Not quite sure where we're at in the turn now.
Yeah.
See if we can find out from our judge. Yeah, it looks like there may be a ruling and an appeal here. See what ends up happening here between Bargo and Wagstaff. Again, Cucinato has already won his match. He's waiting patiently for the winner of this one, Nystrom. Now he's waiting patiently between Hutchins playing Rug Delver and Gensman playing Blue, White, Red.
Yeah. So it looks like there's an issue involving the Wasteland right now that just got used. Perhaps involving the Stifle.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll see what happens. And once we do get a final ruling here, no reason for you guys to sit here and take a look at hand motion. So let's take a look at our quarter 4 schedule instead. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
You want to go to Orlando with me?
Yes.
Too bad, you don't have a choice. You have to come. You want to come to Worcester with me?
Sure.
Nice. We're going to go there too. How about Minneapolis?
I am tagging in for Chapin.
Nice. We'll go to Oakland too.
We are just going to be hanging out all year long. Huh?
I know. A couple more dates here. We'll go through this really quick as these players are just about almost ready to continue to play. You got Columbus, Jersey, Richmond, Atlanta. Yep. Those 4 dates there. Jersey going to be the big one. The Legacy Grand Prix. Meet you and Matthias. A lot of fun stuff being planned there by Star City Games. I think you guys are really going to like that. Got to keep my mouth shut about it.
Yeah, got to keep it on the hush.
I don't want to get in any trouble with Evan Irwin.
We got a little bit of a history when it comes to the constructed Grand Prix. So
just saying, you're probably going to want to go.
Yep.
That's all I'm going to say. Matthias on Patrick Chapin, take care of Richmond Open Series in Atlanta. Myself and you again. You know what? I want to catch a Hawks game with you.
Hopefully they'll be playing. We actually got very unlucky this year with pro sporting events when it comes to cities we went to. We went to the Blue Jackets game.
Yep.
And that was really about it. And we were in Indianapolis. We were in a couple other NBA cities. Atlanta. I mean, we just missed.
That's true. Is it the Blue Jackets game the only one we've done?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'll see if the University of Tennessee has some sort of game going on.
Oh, it's a Lakers game.
Oh, yeah, the Lakers game, right.
Yeah, we went to the Lakers game.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last 3 dates here are Portland, Seattle, the Invitational, and then Roanoke for the Players' Championship, which players are working their way towards here in season number 2. About halfway done. This is a big weekend for Eric Rill, among many. A lot of people gaining points. Joe Lissette ended up in 16th place on Breakers this weekend. Big weekend for him. In the legacy portion here, you see Wagstaff's going to sacrifice the polluted delta. It looks like we're all caught up here as far as things are concerned. Let's see what he's going to search out. It's going to be an underground C.
It appears as though Craig was able to successfully stifle the wasteland in question, so that is how that got resolved. Don't know what the source of the conflict was, but now we're here.
Yeah, it looks like we're all good to go. Either way you slice it, Wagstaff is pretty far behind.
Yep. Very low on total resources. Mulliganed, got stifled and wastelanded a bunch of times.
Well, he's going to try to catch up.
That's a good start. Death Red Shaman's a good start.
Basically, he played 2 lands in 1 turn there. See if Bargo can find something to maybe kill that Death Red Shaman. We know the top of his deck, he's got like a grudge hanging out there.
Yes. And a brainstorm.
Yeah. Take a draw.
Now might be a good time for him to consider casting Tarmogoyf as well.
Yeah, not a bad time, actually. Good place to start, however, is a Delver in the air. Wagstaff going to go down to 11. Tarmogoyf's pretty big. Got the Spell Pierce and the Brainstorm there, too. I wonder which one he wants to play. It's hard to say no to a Brainstorm. A little surprised with the tapping. If he were to find a Lightning Bolt, for example.
Well, I think he's committed to finding a land and trying to cast Tarmogoyf.
How about a Wasteland?
Although, if the plan here is to brainstorm in search of a land to cast Tarmogoyf, I would rather just cast Tarmogoyf and brainstorm next turn.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel, too.
Because you're right, you're not even working with complete information on how you're going to have to tap your lands.
Now it's time to put 2 cards back, and he's not sure which ones he wants to put back. He's a little. This is why I kind of with you. He's a little unsure of himself what he wants to do with Brainstorm and how he wants to move forward too. And it would have been simpler, probably, just to cast Tarmogoyf, pass the turn back, see what happens, and then reevaluate with Brainstorm there. Because now I think the issue here for Craig is that he probably really wants to use that Wasteland.
Yeah, I think he's going to Wasteland, just hold up Spell Pierce, and then cast the Tarmogoyf next turn. Would be my guess. Evan's already demonstrated that he's really light on resources, and I would just want to keep punishing him on that axis.
Down goes another land. See, Evan's got a Delta. Got a Jace, got a Sword of Fire. Nice, that's it. Just has to pass the turn back over to Bargo, who's going to untap that Delver, take a draw, picks up Tarmogoyf, 3 in the air, puts Wagstaff down to 8. Yeah. Might be Tarmogoyf's time, might not be. Spell Pierce is pretty attractive. Tarmogoyf looks like it's more attractive. That's going to come down.
Just start getting Evan into chump block mode.
Got a quick update for you guys. Kyle Hutchins with Rug Delver up a game over Tom Gensman. Game 1 just now finishing in that match.
Yeah.
Wow.
And usually if it's going on that long, it's in favor of the blue-eye red deck.
That's what I was going to say.
A lot more inevitability. Stoneforge Mystic, Trinity Nemesis.
Tarmogoyf sitting at a 4-5.
This is the Rogue Delver game plan to a T. There's no deck in Legacy that functions better off of 1.5 mana or whatever.
It's a glorified land destruction deck. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It does some other things, but in reality, this is just a land destruction deck. Feels kind of like Ponza, really. Wagstaff stacking the polluted delta, trying to figure out what he wants to search for. Gonna go with Underground C. Again, Jason, Sword, Fire, nice. Cards left.
This to me feels like the most powerful skeleton for the card. If you wanted to play Daze and Wasteland together, this is the most powerful skeleton to put it into.
Hard for me to disagree with you there.
Yeah. I was discussing this earlier with BBD. I think that I prefer Rug Delver at this point to Bug Delver strategies. Charlotte's Bug is a different thing. It's kind of a control deck. But if you want to play a Delver strategy, I think I prefer Rug.
Hard to not like Rug, honestly. It's just consistently winning for the past couple of years. Just a really, really good deck. There's an extension of the hand. Craig Bargo going to get the job done here over Evan Wagstaff. 2-0, Rug Delver moving on. Going to be playing against Robert Cucinato. Maybe a little bit of a revenge match. As Cucinato